Hello, and welcome to another episode of Charlie's Desk. So today on the desk, we don't have that much stuff. We have an overhead view of a Blista brailler from the 1950s, and this is gonna allow me to talk about a bunch of different things, but I was getting some questions from people that were like, I knew that there was a different kind of Perkins brailler, but I didn't even know that there were other braillers. And I'm like, whoa, there's a ton of other braillers. So that's kind of what Charlie's Desk is all about. And I'm just kind of slightly adjusting things here to hopefully get the full picture of things. So yeah, this is the Blista brailler. It's made in Germany. This one was made in Germany in the 1950s. It was made by the Blindenstudienanstalt, which stands for the German Society of Blind Academicians, right? So blind students. And so Blindenstudienanstalt, right? BLSTA, that's Blista. That's where you get the Blista brailler. That's the name of this. It's made in Marburg-Lahn, Germany. So yes, there are other braillers. There's braillers in Japan, the light brailler. There's German braillers. I'm sure there's French braillers. There's English braillers. St. Dunstan's made a brailler. So yes, there are braillers all over the world. But let's talk about this brailler, because all braillers do seem to represent their time and place in a sort of interesting way. So before we dive into describing the form of this brailler, which is very different from the hall brailler of my last brailler video, let's talk about where that form comes from. And the guy who invented the first brailler in Germany was named Oscar Picht, P-I-C-H-T. And he invented it when he was the director of the Provincial School for the Blind in Braunberg, Germany. So just a little school for the blind in Braunberg, not the big Royal State School, the little school. He did eventually become, the director of the big state school, but when he invented this in 1899, he was just in Braunberg Provincial School. So did he see the hall brailler in between its introduction in 1893 and 1899? Possibly. They seem very similar mechanically, and I'll get into that. So he made them, and then his daughter made them, and then the Blindenstudienanstalt made them, the Deutsche Blindenstudienanstalt, that's the German Society of Blind Academicians, right? So blind students, Blista. And then now they're even still made by this company Brailletec, of a similar design and feature. And so I described the hall brailler as like a portly little stove or baby piano typewriter situation. And I was trying to think of a way to describe the Blista brailler that wasn't scary, but you know what? It's scary. It looks like a skull. And oh gosh, and it's so tightly wound. All right, so it looks like a skull. It has these big teeth sticking out, 7 teeth for the keys. They're supposed to be white. Some of them are yellowed in a way that makes me think that maybe the person was a smoker, right? Because it's, it makes sense that the ones that are white are. But yeah, and the carriage goes right through the temples of the skull. And then if it's a skull, it has a similar sort of alien projection from the forehead that goes over and then rests above the embossing head, right? Remember from the hall brailler? So, it's smaller than the carriage, right? The hall brailler is as wide as the carriage. It sticks out on either side, but you can kind of push it in and have it be centered. When in the Blista brailler, when the carriage is centered, it's sticking out about 4 inches on either side, 3.5 inches on either side. It has kind of a paper tray that folds out that you can put at different angles. That's kind of cool. I didn't even realize you could put it at different angles, but you can. You can have it be flat, you can have it folded down. And one of the things that the Oscar-picked Braille writer had right from the jump that the Hall Braille writer didn't have. I'm turning it around now so I can access the keys. It has a backspace key. It's pretty great. It's like, oh, America, we don't make mistakes. We don't care. Europe, they're like, let's be ready for some mistakes. So this one is from the 1950s. It's the iteration, the previous version of the Blista Brailler. It's marked like made in U.S. occupied Germany. So maybe it makes sense that this Brailler looks like a bleak sort of skull that, the carriage is so tightly sprung. I mean, listen to this. Like, I thought for this demonstration, like, should I have it like break glass, break a board? It could almost do that, but just this is the carriage release button, and listen to the sound of this. Oh my God. It's intense. Post-war Germany, pretty intense. Looks like a skull with big, scary teeth. I got it from somewhere in upstate New York. Just rotating it now so people can see the writing, the Blista writing on it. I got it from upstate New York, and it had this scroll of paper in it, which is now entering the screen. So the Platen loads differently than the Hall Brailler, which you would load like a flat piece of paper in. This loads a scroll in, and I started reading it, but then once I started, I read some things. I was like, this is private. I'm gonna leave this alone. So I haven't fully read it. It's also in grade 2, which I need to work on. So now I have the Brailler kind of facing up towards the camera, with the bottom oriented towards the bottom of the screen. So you can really see how like yellow the keys are in there. The keys that are touched by the forefingers and thumbs. So I'm thinking that's it. And then sometimes people will capitalize with, their pointer finger. So that's my theory about the cigarette staining. And then, so underneath, right, all the keys are levers, like with the Hall Brailler. And then there's the clutch underneath that advances. Any button, any key will push down this clutch, including the space key, and it advances the carriage across the embossing head, and that's how you braille along. There's a similar saw or comb-like structure, and you can't see it on this because of the skull, the cranium. I don't want to even try to take it off, and it works, so I didn't need to once I cleaned it up. But yeah, so that I'm sure it's a similar thing to the Hall Brailler, just a little kind of trapdoor, and when you press down the space key or any key, it presses down the clutch, advancing the carriage past the embossing head. What else is special and interesting about this? So the company that makes these braillers still exists. It's called Brailletec now, and Blista Brailletec, so it still exists. It used to be a state company for a while. You can see my computer a little bit on the screen, the corner of it, just the keyboard, because, I need to refer to some stuff now. So one of the things that's interesting is that Marburg, like the city of Marburg, has a tradition of like figuring out solutions for people who are sick or had the lived experience of being disabled or being identified as disabled. So that is where the Blindenstudienanstalt was founded. And I guess that organization ended up taking over production. And it seems like people just took over production of braille making in Germany from time to time. But the form remains the same. Oh, Lord. The form of the Brailler remains the same. It's much more sort of petite than the Hall Brailler. Other versions are more cute and Victorian. This is sort of bleak 50s. I wonder what kind of letters were written out on it. You know, chain smoking brailler. Oh, one thing that's cool about it that is also sort of like a frightening thing. So the platen, right? That's the roll that you put the paper on. So let's talk about how to load the paper. And maybe I can zoom in for the people who will be looking. Okay, so I'm rolling the platen around, and I've rolled it sufficiently so now you can see that there's this little kind of door, right? The platen is the cylinder that you roll the paper around. And I have a piece of paper, it's not quite the right size, but whatever. And there's a door all along the long edge of the platen, that cylinder. And there's a little depression where you can put your finger in and open it up, and that's where you put the paper in. And there's actually like little teeth that bite onto the paper and, you know, hold it in, and then you can roll it around. So I'm gonna attempt to do that now. I'm putting in some Braille paper. I have, oh my goodness. Yeah, there's little teeth. You open up the door, little thing. Oh, I have to load it a different way because that's too wide. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. That was folly, huh? Okay. So I'm now putting it in, piece of paper, trying to open up the little door, engage the little teeth. Oh, this is difficult. See, it's not as friendly as it's not from a friendly time. All right, so I gotta get that paper in there. Get it to, oh, there it is. There's the little fang. Oh my God. Maybe I should have practiced more before making the video. Oh my Lord. Well, that's okay. I can struggle for a little bit. I've been getting a lot of great questions from people and some connections with people all over the world. That's very cool. And yeah, oh, there, I was being so silly. So this door, right, that's in the platen in that cylinder, it folds all the way up and it reveals 3 little nails in it that bite into the paper. And you get the paper on a roll, right, from the Brailletec company now. And then you like just braille and braille on this scroll, and I guess just rip off pieces when you're done, which is kind of cool, kind of romantic. But I guess what I would have discovered if I practiced more is you open up the door fully, and then I want to close it on. Okay, yeah. It sinks its little fangs into the paper, and then I use the platen knob. One day someone who knows stuff about typewriters will follow this and tell me what I'm doing wrong. And I roll it all the way back in. Okay. And then I'm going to, there's like, I don't know if like someone dropped this brailler, but it doesn't feel like there's quite enough space between the embossing head and sort of that protrusion that comes over and provides the resistance, like from the cranium of the skull here, if I'm going to keep working with that metaphor. So I'm going to try and keep pressing the advanced key to get that paper under there, but it's very, I'm wondering if I have to bend it or just like, you know, learn how to do it better. All right, there we go. Okay, so now the paper is in. I want to talk a little bit about the quality of the braille, of the embossing, because I really loved the quality of the embossing of the Hall brailler. That was something that just felt beautiful to me. And then this brailler, it's nice. It's a little bit different. It's a little more, you know, efficient. Maybe that's more German. So I zoomed in right on the print end, the patent, the paper is in there. You can see the metal piece that goes over the embossing head where the 6 little dots come up. So I guess I'm just gonna try and, I'm gonna try and braille the word Blindenstudienanstalt. No, I'll double, make it all caps. So yeah, thank you, for watching Charlie's Desk. I'm having a lot of fun. And I just like this stuff. And there's a lot of braillers out there. There's a lot of people who love Braille out there, whether they use Braille or interested in Braille, whatever. God, German words are long. Blind. Oh, yeah. And then when you make a spelling error in a word that has like 14 letters, what are you going to do? But yeah, well, I guess I was wrong about the quality of the embossing. It's really nice, just like the Hall Brailler. Maybe it has something to do with the difference of the scroll of paper. It's thinner. I don't know. But that is the Blista Brailler, made in Marburg-Lahn, Germany in the 50s. It's a little bleak, but you know what? It works. It's old. It needed only to be cleaned and, given some WD-40. And it's back in action. And this is actually the first time that I've really got it loaded up. Oh, shoot. I need to get some of the paper that's right. So I advanced the carriage too far, and I'm pressing down. Oh my God. I think I should go out just again with, how vicious this brailler sounds when you really let go of the carriage release. And I'm gonna zoom out for that. Thanks for watching Charlie's Desk. I hopefully will find more sort of braillers from different parts of the world, and I can share them with you. Feel free to ask questions, and thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to. Okay, here goes. Wait, it didn't work. Oh, it's caught on something. Okay. Oh, it's caught on the paper. Maybe that makes a difference. Okay, now I'm gonna try it. Oh, when the paper's in there, it kind of slows it down. When there's no paper, it's terrifying, All right, well, that was anticlimactic. Bye.